here at RSA 2024 with Dallas from Torq. Hi Dallas, how are things?
Hey, it's going well. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. So you work for a company called Torq. What do they do?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've been getting asked that a lot at RSA. So we're a hyper automation company, and you're probably going to ask, what the heck is hyper automation anyway?
Well, I imagine if you're going to automate something, you should do it in a hyper fashion. It seems to make a lot of sense. But you're absolutely right. I've got no idea what hyper automation is, so please tell me.
Well, okay. So when we're not hyper automating things, so how it works is Torq being a hyper automation company, we're able to integrate absolutely all of your tools together. So any of your security tools, any of your external cloud processes, HRIS systems, anything like that. And once they're integrated together, we're then able to correlate all of that information and connect these tools together to actually create automations for your security operations center.
That is really cool because I've worked in previous places where kind of similar things were achieved by hiring third parties to write middleware in very kind of bespoke, uncommented code that would then go unlooked after, and you'd be left with a big old mess that didn't work and you wouldn't know why. So I think that's something definitely as a security professional the industry needs. So that's really cool. So I've been on the show floor speaking to loads of different people, and the challenges they seem to be seeing is data security. Data security is a massive problem, or it's perceived to be a massive problem, and perceived to be really difficult to achieve. Do you have any thoughts on that? Why are people saying it? Is it true?
Yeah, so I would definitely say data security is a massive problem. With the evaporation of the security perimeter, it's not like you can just set up a firewall rule, put a couple DLP policies in place and call it good. Now we've got rogue IT systems absolutely everywhere. If you have a credit card, you can set up any SaaS service that you want. So really being able to track that data and find out where it's going is a huge challenge, especially with AI, where we're going to dump all of our data into there and see it do the magic things that we want it to do.
Absolutely. You've just covered literally my next two questions.
Oh no! Don't
that's absolutely fine though. It's but it is interesting that we see things, especially with AI. There's always kind of the camp of two camps of CISOs: those that believe it's Terminator 2 Judgment Day and we're all going to die because large language models exist, and those who just embrace AI entirely with a devil-may-care attitude. And I think the truth potentially lies somewhere in between. But you're absolutely right. We need to map and understand these data flows and visibility of what we're using these things for, and where the data's going, and are we comfortable with that? Because things are permissible as long as the choices we make are actually choices that we don't fall into through configuration. And I think in a lot of ways that's kind of you connect up disparate systems and connect up different data points in a mindful way, so people understand the connections that they're making and get better outcomes. So I'm understanding that right, yeah?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And after you have those connections, you also want to be able to automate a lot of the common processes that you would normally do. So the number one request we always had from customers is, hey, that's great, you connected all of our systems, but I can't hire enough people to run my SOC or to do daily cybersecurity operations. So can you maybe take most of my run books and get machines to automate a lot of these tasks, like maybe checking a phishing email to see if it should be quarantined, if it's safe or not, or maybe writing a firewall rule, different things like that. So what we found is we can pretty much automate around 95% of all the tier 1 tasks. And what this allows you to do is not have burnt out analysts, and all your tier 1 guys can now sort of move up the ranks and start doing a lot more useful work, which makes them happier, and hopefully they stay with us for longer.
Absolutely. It seems like a win-win situation there.
Yeah.
Another thing I've been speaking to people about quite often are security frameworks. It seems to be everybody seems to have one, be it ISO, be it NIST, be it SOC 2 Type 2, but it isn't a certification. It's a letter. The big contention thing on the internet around this.
Yes.
Around security frameworks, do you have like a go-to favorite one, or what's your opinion? There seems to be tons of them.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is that confusing or is that helpful?
I guess I always ask the question, what are the intentions of the framework? Number one, is it for compliance? Is it to genuinely improve your security posture?
Yeah.
Is it checkbox security, or is it actual security? So at Torq, we're kind of taking things a little bit differently, where we'll adopt whatever framework the customer absolutely needs to use. and actually map automations around it and try to map any outcomes to that. What we're finding is a lot of them, like MITRE attack framework is one where you're using a lot of the different tools. We can map a lot of those outputs to the MITRE attack framework so that you've got a common language to use across the tools. And if you do have to call in an incident response firm or anyone like that, they already have all of the common mappings of that. But again, we can use any tool or framework that you want, but those are some of our recommendations typically.
No, absolutely. And I think, especially with the MITRE framework, we've doing a lot of work with the Centre for Threat Informed Defense around the insider threat framework.
Yeah.
It's a means to understand what already exists in the world. And I think a lot of people misunderstand attack in that it's not anything new. You know, people are attacking. It's a framework to enable people to understand what's in front of them and codify it in a meaningful, repeatable way. And we certainly find that quite helpful at Next. But it's been awesome to chat to you, and certainly interesting to understand a little bit of what Torq does. And it's great to have spoken to you.
Hey, the pleasure's mine.
Great. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.